Superstar wide receiver Julio Jones officially wants out of Atlanta. But where will he end up? Could it be the Cowboys? Or maybe would it even be the Philadelphia Eagles? We'll talk all about that and more coming up next.
The following announcement has been paid for by
the ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you believe it? Can
Sports.
you feel it? Can you feel that excitement?
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium.
Music.
Wow.
Man, again, and I hate to do this again, but these are goose.
Whoa!
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called? Spineless? Like.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the ENN Podcast. I'm the good brother of Broad Street, the 2020 Big League Fantasy Football Champion and professional wrestler Chris Wild, live and back at Bar 4133 with what might be the news of the offseason. As earlier today, it was the phone call heard around the world, literally, on FS1 with Skip and Shannon, as Shannon Sharpe called wide receiver Julio Jones and asked him if he wanted out of Atlanta or if he wanted to sign with the Dallas Cowboys or be traded to the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, we're calling.
You watching, Julio?
Really hope he answers here.
Julio, have the guts to pick up the phone.
What's happening?
Yeah.
All right.
Julio. Hold on. Let me put you on. Can you hear me?
I got you. This is your favorite uncle. What's going on, bro?
Man, nothing much. About to go meet up with my brother. What's happening with you?
Man, look. You want to go to the Cowboys, Julio? Or you want to stay in Atlanta?
Oh, man, nah, I'm out of there, man.
You out?
He's out of there.
Are you going to... Ideally, where would you like to go?
Right now, I want to win.
Okay. Well, don't go to Dallas. If you go to, you ain't winning in Dallas, Julio.
Man, listen, come on, man. You already know I know.
Okay.
Can you remind him we're on television
Ask
right
him
now?
why we wore the Dallas.
Listen. You know how people is, man, with all that going on with the picture?
Yeah.
And all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Man, I ain't never been on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's good enough. Julio, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling me back. We on air, but I appreciate you calling me, dog. You know I know my nephew was going to pick up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I ain't going to Dallas, man. I never thought about going to Dallas.
Okay, I appreciate that, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Now he might not have any choice.
I told you.
I've got to wash my mouth out. Even just saying that. Julio's a Cowboy. Bad taste. But as you see there, he said he's out of there when it comes to Atlanta. He also, luckily for Eagle fans, said that he did not want to play for the Cowboys, never thought about playing for the Cowboys. Now, before I go into why the Eagles should or shouldn't try to get Julio Jones and what that phone call meant, first off,
what is causing all this?
That's right. What's causing all this? What caused the phone call? Now, we've known all offseason that the Atlanta Falcons are probably going to try to get rid of Julio Jones. Not because he's a declining player, even though he didn't have the best year last year, but because his salary is huge and the Atlanta Falcons have salary cap issues, kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles do. Now, the thought of Julio Jones on the offense with Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan, it just seems spectacular, but it just isn't going to be manageable for the Atlanta Falcons, at least in my opinion. So they want to trade. We've known that. Last week it came out that they were asking for a first-round pick from teams. It came out that Julio might want to go to New England. And then a picture was taken. This picture was taken in what looks to be a mall as Julio Jones is wearing a Dallas Cowboys hoodie. God. Again. Horrible. So this is peculiar and unique because athletes that are on a team usually don't wear another team's apparel in the same sport. Now, you might see, I remember Allen Iverson, I think, might have wore a Cowboys hat once, or, from different sports. Teams do this all the time, but not in the same sport. So you're thinking to yourself, if he's wearing a Cowboys hoodie, that must be a sign. He must be saying to somebody, this is where I want to go. Maybe he was a Cowboys fan his entire life, and now he wants to go to the Cowboys. Well, on that phone call, you heard he doesn't want to go to Dallas, so now I'm more confused than anything. Like, why even wear the shirt? But that's what it is, whatever. I don't know if he was trolling everybody by doing it. If he was, a great move, and because it worked. Now, whenever somebody's going to get traded from a team, if it's a superstar player especially, and the Eagles have a need at that position, you better believe that a writer, that somebody on the radio, or fans are going to go crazy thinking the Eagles should trade for that person. And Julio Jones is no exception, as all over the radio stations today and in the local media, they're asking the question, should the Eagles try to get Julio Jones? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I would love to have a guy like Julio Jones on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, even though we've got Devontae Smith, even though we have a guy like Jalen Reagor, who we're not sure what we're going to get out of this year, the Eagles need help at wide receiver. Absolutely could use a Julio Jones. What team couldn't? So, yes, I would love to have Julio Jones here. Is it going to happen? Absolutely not. And there's a couple reasons why. First off, like I talked about, the Eagles have cap issues. Now, I know next year they have tons of money to spend. So if Julio was to get traded here, they could just restructure the contract. And sure, they could get him on the team this year with no problem. But again, you're going to have to put a lot of money in a wide receiver when you don't know exactly what's going to happen in quarterback. I mean, if Jalen Hurts doesn't perform this year and you go to trade for a guy like a Deshaun Watson, you're going to have to take on that salary as well. Not only that, but you have multiple holes on this team that you can probably fill in next year's free agency. So putting all that to the wide receiver position, it just doesn't seem like a Howie move to me. Now, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't seem like it. And now the biggest reason why Julio Jones will not be a Philadelphia Eagle is because Julio Jones is not going to want to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Now, in the phone call, he said he wanted to go somewhere and win. Now, if he doesn't want to go to Dallas and win, if he doesn't think Dallas can win, what makes you think that he would think the Eagles can win? Now, look, I wear those green colored glasses just like all the rest of Eagles fans do. I think this team is absolutely awesome. I think the city is awesome. They could be 0-16 and I would still be beating my chest about the Philadelphia Eagles. But when you're being realistic, the Philadelphia Eagles on paper right now are projected to be the last place team in the NFC East. Now, do I believe that? No, I don't think they'll be the last place team, but I don't know if they're going to absolutely win the division either. And if you look at the Cowboys team, they look like they're projected to be the number one team coming out of the East. I mean, they've got talent everywhere. They've shored up their defense that now is going to be run by Dan Quinn, who is an awesome defensive coordinator. And Dak Prescott should be back and healthy, which is light years ahead of the quarterback situation they had last year with Andy Dalton and whatever high school quarterback they had, Dominic DiNucci. I don't even remember his name. So they could obviously win the NFC East this year. So why would Julio Jones say, yep, go ahead, trade me to Philadelphia, and then I'm going to sign this new contract with Philadelphia? It just doesn't make sense to me. Again, if this was a couple years ago and the Eagles were on the cusp of NFC championships or just coming off the Super Bowl, then absolutely you go all in on a Julio Jones. It reminds me of 2003, after the 2003 season, when the Eagles were just this close away from the Super Bowl. Then they go out and they get Terrell Owens, become a Super Bowl team, and get to the Super Bowl because of that duo of T.O., Donovan McNabb, and a great defense. This Eagle team is not that one piece away. They're not that one Terrell Owens away. Now a team like Baltimore, a team like the Colts, even maybe the New England Patriots, the Packers, these are teams that Julio could be that missing piece that propels them. But the Eagles in a rebuild, it just wouldn't make much sense to get Julio Jones. I think he's 32 years old. I know he probably has a couple good seasons, a couple excellent seasons still ahead of him, but I wouldn't do it. That's just me. I wouldn't do it. Now, if he wants to come here, then hell, come on over for a second round pick. I'll do it all day long. But for all the reasons that I just said, I just don't think it's going to happen, guys. But that is the news. It'll be interesting to see where Julio Jones lands. I mean, there's still a lot of guys that we don't know exactly where they're going to play. Guys like Aaron Rodgers, Julio Jones, Deshaun Watson. What happens this season? A bunch of question marks still remain. However, our Philadelphia Eagles still putting in work. Ryan Kerrigan reported today. Brandon Graham had some awesome, and Jalen Hurts had some awesome clips from a press conference that I will eventually get to.
Hold on. I'm gonna elaborate on that later.
Once I'm able to live stream the way I want to do, which will hopefully happen in a couple days. But thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you are a new viewer and you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. Every little bit counts. We are close to 2,000 subscribers, which means the world to me. 1,000, 2,000. Let's get it. Let's go. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds, and I'll see you later.
I need Eagle Nation to stand.